Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Beautiful people, welcome to another episode of Ta1k podcast. On this podcast, we spell talk with the one instead of an L because on this podcast, we always keep it 100. All right, let's get into it today. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back, Mr. Keith Burgess. Y'all saw him on episode 19, I don't think that was, episode 19. He's back again. You're the first guest actually to return. How do you feel about that?
I'm so blessed.
Super blessed, super ready to go and get into this action today. Okay, we got some quite a bit of stuff we're gonna talk about. The first episode we did, we was kind of just talking about just mainly you and what's going on, who is Keith the Beef, and all that that's going on. But we about to show y'all our sports side. Okay, we constantly talk about sports all the time. Either whether it's arguing about something, whether it's talking about the same thing, agreeing with something. So we're going to get into a lot of sports today. First of all, how's life going for you so far?
Pretty good. I'm still here.
Yeah, that's the most important. Anything new that's been happening over the past few months?
I got my eyes fixed. Let's see, what else did I do? Got a new kidney. Did something else happen? Well, my hand's messed up and they're getting better. So yeah. I'm just like the Tin Man. I'm just undergoing a lot of repairs right now.
Yeah, undergoing a lot of repairs, but we're gonna get through them. So as we are going through the episode, we are actually watching Miami versus Louisville as they go right now. Miami's winning the game so far. Speaking of college football, the Heisman race is going crazy. Old boy from Boise State, what's his name? The running back. I know it starts with a J, like Genty or something.
I think that's his last name, Genty.
Yeah.
First name starts with an A. I can't remember.
Okay, but he's like the front runner right now. But Travis Hunter definitely deserves to be talked about as probably the front runner. Really, to be honest, I think it's between that running back from Boise State and Travis Hunter. It's like they're neck and neck. I think nobody else can compete with them. What you think about that? Who you think got the Heisman this year?
Genty. I think he's gonna get it. Yeah, I mean he's gonna break Barry Sanders' record. I don't see how he don't win the Heisman if he does that. With that being said, though, I think Travis Hunter is the best player in the country.
Best player?
Without question. And probably could be the number one overall pick in the NFL. Which is crazy that a corner would be the number one overall pick.
I mean, technically a receiver too, so.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, I think in the NFL he's probably going to be primarily a corner.
Do you think he can go to the NFL and play both ways?
Not the whole game like he does now. The NFL is a different animal. And he's still a human being. I don't think he can go both ways all the time. But he's so talented.
You can't keep him off the field.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you want him on the field as much as possible because you know he's going to be able to make a play.
That's why I'd say, first of all, the Heisman, I think he kind of deserves it, playing both ways the whole game. Like, only reason he comes out is if he get hurt. And I don't want to say that's rare because he has been hurt, but, like, it's rare of him getting hurt enough that he has to be out for a significant amount of time. But, I think Travis Hunter probably should deserve the Heisman if he can win it, if he continues to have great games on the course of the season. I know that because of a lot of rule changes where it's really there to protect players a lot more in the NFL, I can see him playing both ways. Now, like you said, I don't see it full time. I can't see you playing every offensive possession and every defensive possession. Like, I can't see that. But I can see, like, playing full-time corner and then maybe every offensive possession, like, a first and a third down. Like, I can see that, or a first or a third down for sure, every offensive possession. But it can, and it will wear and tear on your body. It's starting now, to be honest. I've always said anyway, like we go to watch my daughter cheer, and I'm looking at 6, 7, 8-year-old kids that's playing football, playing on turf. Like, they're already messing up their knees already, and they're so young. And so I know for a fact doing both ways on that turf grass all the time and playing. I know his ice baths got to be a routine schedule. And so, but I think Travis Hunter is, like I said, I think like you said, he's the best player in the country. I think he's the best prospect that's going to go into this draft. I don't see nobody else going that can do the things that Travis Hunter do. From what I'm looking at, the Titans might have the number 1 overall pick, so we might have that in our favor. Actually, I've been seeing that about Shedeur. Shedeur is actually a good pick too. I feel like going to the NFL. Going into the next year's draft, we actually got Shedeur, Quinn Ewers. Is Carson Beck coming out?
I don't know, but Dylan Gabriel and Cam Ward are probably coming out.
Yeah,
Dylan Gabriel for sure. He's been in college forever.
Yeah, I've recently found out that he's been in college for a long time, and I really did not know that. But that's why he's like 3rd all time in passing yards or passing touchdowns in college history. It's crazy. But yeah, Cam Ward and Dylan Gabriel, all these guys. I think this upcoming year is going to be a special year for quarterbacks. Who you think probably the best quarterback is going to be coming out of this draft?
It's hard to say. I want to say Shedeur, but I think it's going to be Cam Ward.
Cam Ward?
Yeah.
You think Quinn Ewers is going to be in the talk, or do you think he can go somewhere where he probably is going to get opportunity?
Oh, I mean, he's definitely going to get an opportunity. All 4 of those guys we just mentioned will be first-round picks.
Okay.
So they're going to get chances to play.
Mm-hmm.
I like Quinn Ewers, but he gets hurt all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He's been my. I'm a Longhorns fan, and he's been my quarterback for two and a half years, and he has missed significant time. All 3, like multiple games, including this year. But he can play. It's just some people are just injury prone, and it seems like he is.
He's definitely been hurt a couple of more times than most. And I hate that for players that are real good. Some real good players they're just injury prone. They can't stay on the field, and it hurts them. And then for his sake, it might hurt his draft stock. But yeah, I think he's gonna go and get opportunity too. But I don't know where though. It's limited opportunity nowadays, low key. Cause a lot of teams already got their kind of quarterback. Not every team, but a lot of teams do. Like I thought J.J. McCarthy was going to come in and be actually decent to get his opportunity. But even if he wasn't hurt, I think Sam Darnold taking Minnesota to 5-0, like he's not getting out. We're going back to those quarterbacks. I think Shedeur has a chance of being. I think Shedeur is probably the most ready, like as far as mental wise. Like he has a great mental state to the game. He doesn't panic. He doesn't when he's down. He can be down by a lot, and it looks like he's only down by 3. He makes it look that easy because he doesn't panic, and that translates to his teammates. Which, if you can put that into the NFL, that's real great. And I know he trains a lot every summer with Tom Brady, so that's probably what helps.
Plus, he's tough. I mean, especially last year. He was the most sacked quarterback in the country, and he has taken some savage hits, and he keeps getting up and throwing dimes. So I have a lot of confidence in him that he'll at least be good once he gets to the NFL.
At least be. I think he's going to be real good, real great. It kind of depends on the situation, I feel like, because I feel like certain organizations can not develop quarterbacks. Case in saying, New York Jets. New York Jets and the Panthers right now are really terrible with quarterbacks, and I have no clue how they can fix that. Speaking of the Panthers, Bryce Young, do you think Bryce Young can ever get over this mental hump and probably get out there and actually play well for somebody?
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be with the Panthers. He probably needs to get out of that situation. I'm pretty sure his confidence is shot at this point. So he probably needs to go somewhere else. But, I mean, he showed so much promise in college. If you can get him protection and some weapons, because that's the thing about the Panthers. They got the worst wide receiver core in the NFL by far. And the offensive line is also trash. And they don't run the ball well. their defense is on the field so much that they can't really hold up, and so like he has like no chance to succeed there. I think they should either trade him or cut him or whatever, and he just needs to start over somewhere else, and he'll probably do pretty well somewhere else. He's just not cut out to carry a franchise like that. Some guys are, some guys aren't. He's not, but he can still be good.
Like what you would say, will not carry out a. He can't carry out a franchise like that, but you think he can be a good like glue plug-in guy? Like if you put him in the 49ers and that offense, I think he'll be good.
Put me in that offense, I think he'll be good.
See, that's why, like, because they do have a lot of talent. The coaching staff, Kyle Shanahan is really like a genius when it comes to calling plays. He always finds the best defensive coordinators. You already had two that went to go be head coaches. I mean, Robert Saleh just got fired, but still Robert Saleh and then DeMeco Ryan, and those was two back-to-back defensive coordinators that you had that went to go be head coaches. So you always find a recipe for success, but that's why I hate talking about Brock Purdy, because I think Brock Purdy is real good. But you're in the system to where we don't know how good you are, because we look at it as you're getting saved by Kyle Shanahan in that system. But some people are like, well, the quarterback got to throw the ball, and it has to get there. So I get that. I get both reasonings. I defend Brock. I think Brock Purdy is one of the top quarterbacks in the league. But when you're behind, like you're on a talented team, it's easy to say, well, look at that team. What do you think about Brock Purdy though?
I think he's a really good quarterback, and they're gonna have to pony up next year and pay that man a whole lot of money, and they're not gonna be able to keep that team together. I mean, they already got the highest paid running back, the highest paid left tackle, the highest paid linebacker. I think one of the safeties makes a ton of money. Ayuk is making a ton of money. Debo is gonna want a ton of money. They can't pay everybody. It's a salary cap league, so you're gonna have to pay Brock. If Dak is making 60, Brock Purdy deserves 65.
65?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Hey, he's already went further in the playoffs than
Twice.
Dak has. Exactly. So, and yeah, you can say the team is loaded, the team is stacked. You still got to perform.
Okay.
No matter who you got around you, you still got to perform. I mean, he could be throwing picks and making mistakes, and he does that sometimes. But I mean, most of the time he's pretty accurate. I think he's a good quarterback.
I think it's a great quarterback in the league. It's just, people going to talk. Yeah, you got to talk, and you got to have some controversy, because that's how you get the views, that's how you get the clicks, and I get it. But at the same time, keeping it real, being 100 is, I think Brock Purdy is the top quarterback in the league, very much so. Just because, I mean, you can't really just fault him for having Debo Samuel, all NFL player, and George Kittle, all NFL tight end, and Ayuk. Yeah, and now, oh boy, the rookie is coming. He's making his debut versus the Chiefs. Yeah, and so he's gonna have weapons, and they're gonna be a good team. They are a good team, and it's because of him. There's a lot of quarterbacks, not really like a lot of quarterbacks, but it's some quarterbacks you can say. I really put Brock Purdy over like Kirk Cousins. I think he's better than Kirk Cousins.
I agree.
I think he's nobody. Let's get this out the way. Nobody's touching Mahomes. Nobody's better than Mahomes. I don't care. There's no quarterback in the league that's better than Mahomes.
Nope.
I don't put him over Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is better than Purdy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Lamar, I think he's better than Purdy.
I agree with that.
And then can't think about anybody else that's on that top tier that he might can compete with. Like Kirk Cousins, I think he's better than Kirk.
Is he better than Jordan Love?
Jordan Love, that's a toss-up. I would say yeah. I think he's better than right now. Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love is better than. I think if you put Brock Purdy right there, Jordan Love is right behind him, because Jordan Love has proven that he can play, and he proves that he can win games and get you far in the playoffs. Because they was maybe one bad snap away from beating the 49ers and going to the NFC Championship game. So Jordan Love versus Brock Purdy is going to be very much fun football to watch in the future in the playoffs. Very much fun. Because I can see them playing against each other for many years to come. I think the 49ers need to win the Super Bowl this year. Because if you, especially like you said, you got to pay Brock Purdy. You need something to stamp why we broke up this team. Because we had to. Versus winning the championship, but we got to pay people. Versus you lose, you like, well, we just couldn't win and we couldn't get it done. So, yeah, Super Bowl. San Francisco needs to win the Super Bowl. Another young quarterback that's in the league, killing it, dominating for your favorite team, actually. Jayden Daniels. Jayden motherfucking Daniels is eating right now. Rookie of the year so far. First quarter of the season is done. He's a rookie of the year, and he's in MVP conversations. How do you feel about Jayden Daniels? And of course, I know you love the Commanders winning, but how do you feel about Jayden?
I'm pleasantly surprised. Now, I did think he was going to be good. I didn't know he was going to be this good, this quick.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, he has yet to have a bad game, which, you know, it's the NFL. Even the best of quarterbacks have had bad games. It's coming. He'll have one. Or two, or maybe a lot if he has a long career. But he's going to have a lot of great games, too. To think that he's just a rookie and he's already doing this, the future looks really, really bright for him.
Really bright. And, you know, I'm looking at, most of the time when I watch him play, I look at Terry McLaurin. Like, it looked like Terry McLaurin got all the confidence now. With a quarterback that gets you the ball, especially in deep routes, gets you the ball on time. And, like, you always just seeing Terry McLaurin just getting up, hype, ready to go. He looks like he has the confidence of when he was in college. And that's real good for a receiver like that because you needed that. So for a long time, a lot of people try to say he was falling off, but you just needed a quarterback, as we can see. Do you think you guys are going to the playoffs?
Yes. We may or may not win the division. I know we're leading the division right now. I guess time will tell if we can keep the lead in the division, but I think we're good enough to win 9 or 10 games. We have problems on defense, bad problems on defense. We can't stop the run at all. Our linebackers are terrible, and our corners ain't a whole lot better than that. So we have some work to do as far as building the team up, but you know, with new ownership, new front office, new coach, I think we can get that done, and I think like in 2 to 3 years, you could be talking about the Commanders as a serious threat to win the Super Bowl.
I mean, you could talk about them as a for the division threat. I think Cowboys look terrible. Oh my God, they look horrific. Cowboys not looking good. You know, I am pleasantly surprised the Eagles are not looking as good as you would think they were. Like 2 years ago, Super Bowl run. Last year, you still had a good season, but it looked like it was meh. And then you shit the bed versus the Buccaneers, and it's like, bro, what are we doing here? Like, I can honestly say, if the Eagles if they make the playoffs but they don't go to the Super Bowl again, you looking at probably a firing, or possibly, y'all know Jalen Hurts is from Dallas. Why not trade Dak for Jalen Hurts?
Never happened. They're locked into who's going to take on Dak in $60 million a year. It's not going to happen.
I mean,
but
you're paying Jalen Hurts.
I will drop this jewel right here. Nick Sirianni will not coach another season with the Philadelphia Eagles. He may not make it to the end of this one.
Damn, bro.
I think he's gone. If they struggle to make the playoffs and lose their first game in the playoffs or don't make it at all, I think you got to go. It's kind of been well documented that him and Jalen Hurts don't get along. Oh, they just gave Jalen Hurts $200 and something million. I mean, they can't get rid of Hurts. They'll get rid of the coach. They've shown that. They got rid of Doug Peterson. He won a Super Bowl for them. 2 years later,
gone.
So, I mean, hey, I think this is Nick Sirianni's last year, and it should be because, like, what is What has he done since that first year when his two coordinators left and both got head coaching jobs? Mm-hmm. And they've been struggling on both sides of the ball since, offense and defense, with Super Bowl talent all over the field. Who's got two better wide receivers than they do?
Yeah, nobody.
And then the running back now too.
Saquon, yeah, I forgot he's on the Eagles.
Dude, I mean, like they got, and then the tight end is real. I'm trying. His name is.
Is it Dallas Goedert?
Goddard, yeah. I mean, he's really good. The offensive line is still really good, even without Jason Kelce. I mean, the quarterback's not really playing that great, and of course, the quarterback and the coach are bumping heads.
Is that like publicly bumping heads, or they're just like some speculations?
Oh no, I mean they've kind of admitted, both of them, that they're not quite seeing eye to eye. So I mean, like I don't know how that is gonna work out in the long term if your coach and your quarterback ain't on the same page. I mean that's a serious problem.
A very serious problem. That's why I feel like it's going on with Will Levis and Brian Callahan. Like they can't seem to get on the same page for some reason.
I know the page they're on. Your coach thinks the quarterback is trash, just like the rest of the world thinks Will Levis is trash, and he's gonna be gone. And if they get that number one pick, in comes Shador, in comes Cam Ward, or in comes Dylan Gabriel, or whoever the number one pick is gonna be. And
man, I'm an Oregon fan, and I still don't like Dylan Gabriel. You think I would? You think I would want him on the Titans? I would be so mad. I would be super mad. It would be Marcus Mariota draft all over again. If I feel that's how I feel about Dylan Gabriel. But and we were just talking about before this, we was talking about when I said Treylon Burks, and I was like, we made the dumbest mistake giving away one of the best, if not the best receiver in the league at the time, and AJ Brown for what?
Well, you gave him away for a pick, and then you blew the pick. So you can't blame Burks. You got to blame the general manager of the organization, whoever made that decision first to trade A.J. Brown instead of paying him, because pay the man.
Pay the man.
And if you're really against paying the man, you got to hit on the pick. You got a first-round pick for him. Like, there's not too many players that can get traded and you get a first-round pick for them. So you get a first-round pick, you lose a superstar, and then you get a first-round pick for him, you have to nail the pick. And they blew the pick.
Blew it tremendously. Like a mother. Man, I'm still mad to this day. I think what's funny is actually that draft day, we was in Tennessee. I forgot what we was in Tennessee for. But we was in Tennessee visiting. We're at my grandmother's house. We just drove about 10 hours to get there. I decided to go to the store, and I come back, and the first thing I hear is my mom sit there and say, we just traded A.J. Brown. And for the first and only time in my life, I cussed at my mom and said, no, the fuck we didn't. She was like, yeah, look. And I'm looking at the TV, and it's literally Titans trade A.J. Brown to Philadelphia for a 4th overall pick. I'm like, bro, I was so mad. I was so heated.
It wasn't that high, was it?
It was like number 4.
I mean, that's not a terrible, horrible decision. But like I said, you got to nail the pick if you do that. You cannot blow the pick.
I need to know what other receiver was in that draft. I got to look that up. I'm going to look that up one day and say, because I need to know who else we could have picked besides Treylon Burks.
The thing is, every year there's so many really good receivers that come out. It's probably the easiest position to draft. You don't even need to spend a first-round pick on a wide receiver. Make sure you have a quarterback, and you can get, 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, you can get a good wide receiver.
And you know who I think was mad about that also? Ryan Tannehill for sure. Because I think A.J. Brown and Ryan Tannehill had one of the best relationships for a quarterback and receiver. Now, I give you that it was mostly A.J. Brown's doing, because A.J. Brown just takes the slant from 10 yards, run another 70 and it's a touchdown. He did that a lot as a Titan, and you can say he did most of the work. But they loved each other. Like, and of course Tannehill, he helped make Tannehill's career. Not make it, but put it on the map. So I know he was mad about that. It was everybody. A lot of people was mad about it. But hey, life is going on. We're trying. Titans are dog shit right now. We still feeding off of that, or we still losing because of that trade. I don't know what we're gonna do from this point on. Speaking of dog shit and speaking of good teams, last week I gave 2 weeks ago I gave NFL progress reports. I'm gonna get you to give me some progress reports on some NFL teams. Progress report time because we are still in the first quarter of the season. Around week 10 is when I do the little first time report card for some teams. But right now we're going to do a little progress report. Teams that you will say just are Fs in the league. Who would you give an Fs to?
Oh, Carolina for sure.
Okay.
New England, F. Tennessee Titans, sorry. F minus.
For real.
I'll give the Cowboys an F, but only because, they do have some talent. The quarterback is good. The wide receiver is great. They got a great pass rusher in Micah. They didn't do anything after getting blown out at home in the playoffs. Like, they did nothing.
They got blown out at home again in the regular season.
They haven't won a game at home They haven't won a game at home since that game.
Wow.
That's 4 in a row. And got blown out. Well, with the exception of the Baltimore game, because they came back to towards the end of that game. But I mean, dude, it was 28-3 at one point. So, but I would say the Cowboys D minus. But those are my Fs. Just about everybody else is kind of where I expected. I expected Carolina to show a little bit of improvement. They haven't. Mm-hmm. I expected New England to show some improvement. They haven't, but they've only been playing the rookie quarterback one game. So
and they're on the first-year head coach.
Yeah, and a first-year head coach, and that can change. But that dude's been around the organization a long time. He played for them, and he coached under Belichick. It shouldn't be that big of a change.
Yeah, that big, but I still think it's a difference in being assistant, a coordinator, and being actually the man in charge, because they actually come to you for everything, and you have to okay everything. Yeah. So it's a little different, but yeah, you still wanted some type of improvement. Another team that I would give a D minus or an F to.
Oh, the Jaguars. I can't believe I left them off. The Jacksonville Jaguars
are trash.
What's dude say? Trash.
Trash.
Hey, I don't know how you pay your quarterback $257 million, and then he goes out and plays like the Monstar stole his talent. I don't know what happened to Trevor Lawrence. He is pure grade A garbage right now. And this is what, 5th year? 4th, 5th year?
I think it's like,
I
say it's 4th or 5th. Yeah, 4th or 5th year.
Dude, there's no way he should be struggling like this at this point in his career. No way. I don't know what happened to him. But yeah, I think that would be I guess Cleveland. The Cleveland Browns will also get an F, because what the F happened to Deshaun Watson, dude? Jesus Christ.
You need to put him on a missing poster right fucking now.
That guy was a top 5 quarterback.
You know what? Is this starting to become a Clemson thing? Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson, both Clemson quarterbacks, successful at Clemson, national championship winners, had high promise coming to the league. Deshaun Watson was actually real good in Houston, and I think Trevor Lawrence had a good year when they went to the playoffs, but they really haven't done much really at all. So it might be a Clemson thing. Whoever's going to draft their quarterback from Clemson, you might as well. Hey, you better hold up on that. Another team that I think deserves a D minus F. It is not really. It's not really fair. It's not their fault, but still, Miami.
That's not that far. I can't give him that lower grade. I would say like C minus because the team's actually good, but who knew that they were so reliant on Tua that they would just fall apart without him.
And that's what I was saying. Like, it's so unfair to say that they deserve a F or D minus because of no Tua. But you gotta be real with it. Like, they still, I feel like Tua is very important, of course. But with the talent you got, you lost to the Titans. Like, lost to the Titans, and like it's just something about it. It's just like what are y'all not getting? What are y'all not understanding?
Obviously, they didn't have a solid backup.
Yeah.
And I mean, like that's a problem when you got, a quarterback that's kind of fragile like Tua is and gets hurt a lot. Especially the same type of injury. It's not like, he's tweaking a knee or twisting an ankle. He's getting concussions. Those are serious. Those
bad concussions.
Yeah, and the reactions that he's having after some of these hits, like, dude, it's hard to watch. And it makes you think like, dude, maybe you shouldn't play anymore, man, because you got the whole rest of your life to live. And those head injuries are something serious.
Very something serious. Now, one thing I can say is because I've had this talks with a lot of people, had it with my mom before. It's a level of competitiveness, and like if you're a true competitor, it's like, and then if you love it, if you love football, I've literally heard people say it. I've said it before. I would die on the field because I love it that much. Then me getting older, I'm 28 years old, and I'm like, yeah, I love football, but dying on the field is not my priority. But I get the competitiveness, and I get why you want to do that. But at the same time, like, yeah, seriously think about retiring. I said it a couple of weeks ago on the podcast about how serious concussions is. I've had concussions before. I've seen players and some of my friends have real bad concussions to where they got to be out weeks, months. And back then too, concussions. You looked at concussions, but you didn't have protocols like we do now. And so like sometimes you play the whole season with a concussion that you probably should have been sitting out, and you don't know. But while you have the chance and while you are moving and while you are able to move 100%, you should think seriously about retiring. But yeah, Miami is kind of getting an unfair advantage, getting an unfair grade because of Tua. But that's just what I think right now for Miami. Now, for your A and A plus teams, of course we got the Chiefs. That is going to be A plus. Vikings, I give them an A plus so far. Anybody else that you probably say deserves some A's, A pluses?
Washington Commanders. That's an A. That's a good solid A.
Good solid A.
I would say the Detroit Lions are a good solid A as well. I think they've only lost one game, if I'm right about that. I would say the Chargers, strong B plus. Dude, they were terrible last year.
Yeah.
Terrible. And then look what they gave up. They gave up basically all of their skill players. Like, all of them.
Keenan Allen's gone.
All of them. Mike Williams, Eckler. They gave up all their skill players. And I think they're 3-2. They're at least playing winning football. And I know that whole style has changed. But I mean, like, that's what Harbaugh does. So I say, they get a strong B plus. I would give the Bills a pretty good grade too, because I really didn't expect a whole ton. I actually picked them to win the division, but I just thought the division would be terrible.
Yeah.
But I think, like on offense, they are kind of talent poor. I mean, I know they got Amari Cooper now, and that that probably will, pay off big time for them. But, coming into the season where they didn't really have, like, really a number one receiver or even really a number two receiver. Yeah. And then you're just relying on Josh Allen to carry you. I didn't think that was sustainable. And obviously neither did they. That's why they went out and got Amari Cooper. And, they're running the ball a lot. They're using their tight ends a lot. Kincaid and Knox, and those guys are playing pretty well. Their defense, like again, they let go a whole bunch of their defensive players too. Like their whole secondary is new. So I'll give them credit. I think they're doing pretty well too.
A team that I'm going to give a D to that surprising the shit out of me that they got a D. The Saints. The Saints had so much promise, and they looked real good the first 2 games. And for the past, now I know Derek Carr's hurt, but for the past game, even he was a part of those first 2 losses, but these last 2 losses has been on Spencer Rattler. But still, it's like now they're 2-4. Like it sucks, bro. Like I thought they was gonna be better than what they are. They get a D for me, and then I think Tampa Bay can get a solid A.
Yeah, I think Tampa Bay gets an A. The Saints. This is what the Saints need to do. Fire every fucking body. Start over. Get rid of all of those high players. They've been in salary cap hell for years. Ever since Drew Brees was there, which I kind of understand. You going all in because you got Drew Brees. So you're expecting to be in the hunt for NFC championships and Super Bowls as long as you have Drew Brees there. You do not have Drew Brees there anymore. Derek Carr is not it. Spencer Rattler may become something, but he's a 5th-round rookie. You can't really expect too much from him. Kamara is a running back in a quarterback league. He's a really good one, but again, it's a quarterback league. The defense, they have a good defense or a decent defense, but those players are old and expensive. They need to start all the way over. I'm serious. Trade everybody, cut whatever, get the payroll down, acquire a bunch of draft picks, and start over. Yeah, you'll probably be the Aints again, for a year or 2. But I'm just saying that's how teams get good. You draft and develop. And, you got all these overpriced, aging veterans that are just not performing. You got to make a move to get younger.
I think the problem is nobody has the patience for drafting and developing. Once you draft a player, like, we want you in the Super Bowl the same year. Like, people really think that Caleb Williams is going to the Super Bowl. Yeah. So, like, we can't just draft or have a first-year head coach and be, okay, let's give us 5 years so we're going to be good. No, like, we got you here for a reason. You need to be good now.
Well, to me, being in salary cap hell, there's no excuse for that. That's like a man mismanaging his money. Yeah. You know how much money you have to spend, and you spend it foolishly. And when you do that, whatever consequences come your way are the consequences that come your way. And in football, when you do that, the consequences is your team's going to stink. So, I mean, if you, like, for example, let's take the Cowboys again as an example. When you pay your quarterback $60 million and he's a good quarterback, but he's not great. Yeah. And you're paying a good quarterback great money, I mean, that means you probably can't have running backs. Name the running back on the starting running back for the Dallas Cowboys. What's his name?
Is it Zeke or is it?
See, my point exactly. You don't even know who he is, and then you start giving away. You start letting expensive players go that are good players, but you can't afford them because you're paying one guy so much money. So, they let Tyron Smith walk. Even though he was older, he was still productive when he was healthy. They have a very serious linebacker problem, but they don't have the money to go out and get, linebacker help. They just want to draft, but that takes time to develop. And sometimes you draft a player and they're not what you thought. So, I mean,
that actually happens a lot.
Yeah, it does happen a lot. But salary cap mismanagement is, to me, inexcusable, especially in a league where you can get out of the contract just about any time you want. Just don't sign stupid ones. I mean, like Cleveland Browns with Deshaun Watson. That was stupid. They can't cut him. They literally can't cut him.
That's crazy.
So, I mean, like, it makes zero sense to cut him. And you're stuck with him. And I mean, I'm sure when they signed that contract, they thought that was a positive thing. But now the worst possible scenario has happened. He's terrible.
My thing is, the only reason I'm mad about it is because as you paid Deshaun Watson all this money, you gave up on Baker Mayfield for no reason. Baker Mayfield got y'all to the playoffs, had a good years. He just got hurt. Now you looking at Baker Mayfield for the Bucs, and they're actually playing real great, and they love him, and he's doing all this, and he's winning. Browns, that was your guy that you picked, and you let him go for somebody who you thought in Deshaun Watson. Now, we all thought. I'll be the first one to tell y'all, I thought the Browns was going to be fantastic with Deshaun Watson. I was like, Deshaun Watson just going to elevate him. Hasn't happened. And so if I'm in that if I'm in that Browns literally front office, I'm looking at Baker Mayfield and I'm looking at every like, who the fuck said let him go and we sign this guy? Whoever raised their hand fired.
It was probably the owner, and you can't fire the owner. That's, again, I hate to keep bringing up the Cowboys, but that's their problem. Your owner's your general manager. He's not going to fire himself. And even if he did, he's still going to be the owner, and you can't fire the owner. So, like, if at the top it's not right, it's not going to be right anywhere in the organization. And that's the problem in Cleveland. Is somebody pulled the trigger on a horrible decision that made zero sense. Mm-hmm. And now they're suffering for it, and they're probably going to have to dismantle their team as a result of this.
Damn. Yeah, you have to do some type of rebuilding because you let everybody basically go, and you're trying to really win a championship with in-house, and it's not working on the in-house.
Well, you got to have a mix of that. So you got to be able to draft well, and then you have to be able to sign the right free agents. You don't necessarily have to, make all these blockbuster moves, but you just make good, solid moves. Like the Chiefs. To me, that's it. They've drafted very well.
Very well. They continue
very
to draft
well.
Very well.
Very well. And then, if they have a spot or some where they need some depth or they have a void somewhere, they know exactly, like, running back went down, go out and get Kareem Hunt, bring him back. And he's, I think he's only played one game, but he was fantastic.
Like somebody who knows the offense, knows the culture, like he could just come in and fit right in.
Yeah. And then, they had wide receiver issues with Rashee Rice getting hurt and probably expected a suspension anyway.
Yeah.
And they go out and they get Hollywood Brown, even though that hasn't worked out because he hasn't played.
They haven't played one.
But
Xavier Worthy's been really good.
Went out and got Juju. Juju's been doing well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like, as an organization, it always it starts at the top. So, first you let the owners own. Let them hire and empower people to do their jobs and make sure they do their jobs well. And it works there because that owner isn't at the microphone after every game trying to give an analysis.
Yep. With that, it's funny looking at how we say, or we feel like L'Jarius Sneed is the best corner in the league, and you're able to lose him on your team, and it's like he's never left. Like they really draft real well. The Chiefs do. Before we continue, would you say the Amari Cooper to Bills trade is better than the Devontae Adams to Jets trade? Or which trade do you think is more beneficial?
I would say the Amari Cooper trade is more beneficial, and I would say it for these reasons. First, Josh Allen is definitely going to make him absolutely the number one guy, which I think Devontae is probably going to have a hard time being the number one guy with Garrett Wilson there. Even though I know Aaron Rodgers loves him. But I don't think there's as much pressure on Amari Cooper in Buffalo as there is on Devontae with the Jets. Like, that's a total different situation. The Jets are just
awful.
that's a dumpster fire. Like we were talking about bad organizations, that's a bad organization from top to bottom too. And they make desperate moves instead of making sound decisions. But I think the Cooper one will work out better. They didn't have to give up a whole lot to get him. Comparatively speaking, he's not making nearly as much money as Devontae, so he's not nearly as expensive. You know, he's never been a diva type guy. You know what I'm saying? Where like, get me the ball, I gotta have my yards, I need to have my touchdowns. He's never really been that. And Devontae has.
I recently said that I feel like Devontae is becoming a diva, and like I'm not a diva like way of like, I don't think he's on the level of Stephon Diggs, but he's getting close. Because like you can tell, like we knew you was frustrated with the Raiders and all that. But my thing is, this is what I was mad about. I was like, bro, from my understanding, you didn't get traded to the Raiders. You picked the Raiders.
I mean, he ended up getting traded, but he authorized that trade away from Green Bay because apparently he wasn't sure about what Aaron Rodgers was going to do. So he felt like the quarterback situation was kind of shaky in Green Bay, so he goes to the Raiders.
Well, their quarterback situation.
I mean, he actually had a couple of good years with them, even though they didn't really have a quarterback. But like, you know, I think his big frustration was like he'd have like games where he wasn't getting the ball at all. So like he'd have one game where it's 11 for 150 and 2 touchdowns, and then in the next game it'd be 2 for 21. And they lose both games. You know, so, you know, I know he wants to win, which definitely isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I think the Cooper move overall is probably a better move. And I want to say that Cooper, I believe, is in the last year of his contract.
So we'll see how they play out. Hopefully they can get to the Super Bowl with that. All right. We have the NBA starting next Thursday, or this upcoming Thursday, I want to say. Yep, upcoming Thursday, NBA starts. NBA is back. Hallelujah. All right, so guess what? We got all sports in one. That's why I love October. Baseball is in the thick of things. Football is in the thick of things now. We're getting into the nitty-gritty of the football. Basketball is starting. At some point in time, every day is going to be a game on. That's what I love about this time of year. It's always a game on every day. So I come home and watch something. NBA. Let's talk a little bit about some NBA. We got predictions for the NBA season. I will go first. Excuse me. Okay, my NBA predictions for this upcoming season. In the West, I have number 1 team being the Denver Nuggets. Number 2, Timberwolves. 3, Grizzlies. 4, OKC. 5, I got Dallas. At 6, I got the Los Angeles Lakers. At 7, which I probably need to change that now since Kawhi is out, but we're going to keep it going. Clippers at number 7. I got the Suns at number 8. Pelicans number 9, and then I got the Warriors finishing off at number 10. That's what my predictions are going to be, the ending standings for the West next season. And in the East, I got the Celtics at number 1. I got the Bucks at number 2. I got the Knicks at number 3. Number 4, I got the 76ers. Number 5, I got the Heat. 6, I got the Pacers. 7, I got the Orlando Magic. 8, I got the Cleveland Cavaliers. 9, I got the Bulls. And at 10, I got the Hawks. Those are the East ones. My MVP, I had Giannis Antetokounmpo as the MVP this year. Rookie of the year, I have Zach Edey as the Rookie of the Year. And for 6th Man of the Year, I think Naz Reid can do it again.
I don't think he's going to be the 6th man.
He's not going to start. Oh, Rudy?
Oh, well, I mean, I just felt like they traded Towns, would he not take Towns' spot in rotation? But then I forgot about
Julius Randle. Yeah, so I think he can do it again for Sixth Man of the Year. That was mine. You have any predictions?
Of course. Your mom calling me.
Mama, just hold on for a second. Well, since that, what would you grade the since you're a Knicks fan, what would you grade the Cat trade?
I like it, but I don't like it at the same time. So, of course, I like that we got Cat. I hate that we gave up DiVincenzo. I loved him. I love DiVincenzo. But I guess he wasn't happy. He felt like he wasn't going to get enough run or enough minutes and enough shots. And the team is loaded, and he has a point. But I still liked him. And, with the way injuries hit us last year, I think you need somebody like that on your team for depth. So I hated giving him up, but I do like getting Cat.
For sure. Ready?
Yeah. So for the East, I got the Celtics, number 1. The Knicks, number 2. The Orlando Magic, number 3. I think that's a young team that I think is going to take big strides.
Yeah, they're hungry.
Then I got number 4, the Sixers.
Okay.
Number 5, the Pacers.
Okay.
Number 6, the Cavs. Number 7, the Bucks. I think they slide big time. That's an old team. I don't know that they've made any moves in the offseason to really make themselves better. And I know Giannis got hurt and didn't really play in the playoffs. And then Lillard got hurt. But the thing is, that whole team's a year older. I don't think Doc is it.
I don't think so either.
Doc's not it. Number 8, Heat. Number 9, Hawks. Number 10, the Nets.
The Brooklyn Nets?
The Brooklyn Nets.
Nice.
And so I have, going to the Eastern Conference Finals, I have Knicks versus Celtics. And as much as I hate to say it, because I hate Boston with a freaking passion, I have the Celtics going to the finals again over the Knicks.
That was hard to say, wasn't it?
It wasn't really hard to. It wasn't really hard to say. It's just because it really is what I think, but it just wasn't pleasant because fuck them Celtics. Anyway, so in the West, I got Nuggets number 1, OKC number 2, Mavs number 3, Timberwolves number 4. I think they slide just a little bit because they don't have Cat. Number 5, I have the Pelicans. I think they actually take a step up. The number 6, I have the San Antonio Spurs.
Wow.
So
like that.
Now with Chris Paul and that young kid they drafted out of Connecticut, I think they'll be good. And Wemby a year better. I mean, look what he did last year.
I would say Wemby in his rookie year, you could have easily put him Defensive Player of the Year.
Yep.
It could have easily had. He wasn't going to be MVP, but he could have been a vote in. Yeah. He did win Rookie of the Year. First team All NBA, at least second team All NBA for sure. Yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, he's only getting better. He's 20 years old. He's only going to get better. All right, number 7, I got the Kings. Number 8, I got the Lakers. I just don't think that's going to work with Reddit, really, to be honest.
I don't think so either.
Then, LeBron is a year older. It's like how much – I love LeBron, and I think he's one of the greatest players that's ever touched the court. He's definitely in my top 5 and all that. But, I mean, he's going to be 40 in a couple of months. It's just like Father Time catches up with everybody at some point. And as great as he is, it's going to catch up with him at some point. And I think Anthony Davis played 70, 75, 76, 77 games last year, something like that. He ain't doing that again. His history says he's going to get hurt, and Lakers ain't. Well,
I would like to say, first of all, when is Father Time going to catch up to LeBron? That's the question. When is it? Because
I say now.
I honestly, I can say now, but it's like he looks like he's 26.
Okay, well, I would say that Father Time has been catching up to LeBron the last 3 or 4 years because he's been injured a lot.
Yeah.
And before that, he never got hurt. So his game hasn't really fallen off, at least not fallen off a lot. But I mean, it has to start sliding at some point. I want to be pleasantly surprised. I'm a big LeBron fan, but I remember 40. That's all I got to say. Is when it started falling apart for me.
And they keep building the team around this 40-year-old too. So this is why I'm just like, when is like we need to know the fall off. And then Anthony Davis is Anthony Davis. But I was shocked about him last year. I was just like, he did play a lot of games and he did dominate like we've been wanting you to dominate this whole time.
And they still couldn't get past the first round.
Still couldn't.
So that's what,
get out the play.
That's why I got him at 8 in the play-in. And then I have the Warriors at 9 and the Suns at 10. And I think the Suns take a serious nosedive. And that's another player who I think is going to fall off some is Kevin Durant. He's going to be, 36?
35, 36.
Okay. And, I mean, of course, he's a fantastic shooter and scorer and all of that. But, eventually, that slows down. And, they still got Book, which is why I'm saying that they can still make the play-in. But, that roster is very thin beyond them two. And Bradley Beal, I don't think he's anywhere close to what he was when he was in Washington.
Bradley Beal pisses me off.
And he can't stay healthy. And, I mean, even Durant is a real serious injury risk, too. So, I mean, I just don't have any confidence in the Suns. So, for the Western Conference Finals, I got the Nuggets and OKC. And I got the Nuggets in 7 games in that one. So then I have, for the finals, I have the Nuggets versus the Celtics. And I got the Celtics going back-to-back.
Yes!
Fuck them Celtics.
Oh, we love the Celtics, baby. I'm not going to lie. I want to play. I hope we get the Nuggets in the finals. I hope we can go to the finals and get there, but I want to play the Nuggets in the finals. I feel like we was robbed of that matchup this past year. But maybe we can get there next year, and I would love to see, because I think the Nuggets and Celtics are the 2 best teams in the league right now in their respectful conferences. So, they're the 2
best teams, period. Anyway.
Yeah, anyway. And so, you put them 2 together for a 7-game series would be, get your popcorn ready. We're ready to watch this. If the Celtics repeat, I want to say, I got to look this up, but I think Al Horford would be the first player to win back-to-back championships in college and the pros.
No.
No?
Because I know Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did it.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Back-to-back.
He won 3 in 3 years in college. And he definitely won a back-to-back with the Lakers in the 80s.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, he did that.
Okay. Well, it'll be a short, very short list.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I ain't think about Kareem. Yeah. But shoot, that would be good for Al Horford. That would top off his career. I think he was already going to be I want to say Hall of Fame for all basketball. Definitely for the Celtics, retired jersey, Hall of Fame, Ring of Honor.
Maybe even for the Hawks.
Yeah, for the Hawks too, I think so. But he has a plea. If he does this, he has a pleading case for a Hall of Fame. But I don't think it's going to happen. At least not anytime soon.
I wouldn't put him in, but I mean, the NBA. If there's an easy Hall of Fame to get into, it's the NBA.
Yes, the NBA. You think Derrick Rose is going to get in the Hall of Fame?
No, and he shouldn't.
Forever, or maybe later on down the road.
Never. No, I just don't think he was. He was great, but he wasn't great long enough. And I mean, I know it's because of injury, and that sucks. But I mean, that's the reality, man. I mean, dude, he wasn't great long enough. He just wasn't. I mean, had he not got hurt, you're talking about one of the great players ever.
Yeah,
but he did get hurt. So I mean, you can't overlook that
at all. All right, I need you to call me 2 games before we get up out of here. Okay, or at least 3. For sure, we're gonna go to your game. I think. Yeah, wait. Do y'all play tomorrow? Yeah, Panthers, Commanders, and Panthers. I'm pretty sure you're gonna pick the Commanders on that one.
Yeah.
Let's go with Ravens and Buccaneers Monday night. Who do you got in that game?
Where's that game at?
It's going to be in Tampa Bay.
I'm going to go Ravens. In a close, very, very close one.
Ravens in a close one. Super Bowl rematch that everybody's going to be watching. Chiefs versus 49ers in San Francisco. Who do you have in that game?
I'm going to go Niners. The Niners are desperate, dude.
They are
desperate. 3-3. I mean, you can't really lose this game and go to 3-4. The Chiefs haven't lost a game yet. They play all these super close games where they're just flirting with disaster every game, and I think it bites them in the butt this week.
They do flirt with disaster every game. Jets and Steelers Sunday night game in Pittsburgh. Devontae's going to play, so first game as a Jet. Who you got?
I got no confidence in the Jets. None. I'll probably pick against them just about every game they play for the rest of the season. I'm definitely going to pick against them here. Steelers.
And let's do one more game that's going to be, in my opinion, a great game. Lions versus Vikings in Minnesota. So we got the 5-1 Lions versus the 5-0 Vikings. That is going to be a fantastic game. Who do you have in that game?
I want to go Lions. And if they didn't just have maybe one of the biggest wins in their history last week, I would go Lions. But I'm going to go Vikings because that game was almost like their Super Bowl. This game, even though it's a division game, is going to be, I think, kind of a letdown for them. I don't think they're going to come with their A game. I'm going to go Vikings.
Vikings for the win over the Lions. All right. Thank you, Mr. Keith Burgess. We got another episode of Ta1k podcast done, and over with. Y'all saw how we can communicate with sports. Sports is our languages, okay? We love it, okay? Until next time, thank you guys for watching. Until next time, Mr. Keith, you'll be back for a third time for sure.
I'm sure I will.
We'll talk about probably right before the NFL playoffs for sure. Maybe even NBA playoffs. Quick question. Game 5, Sunday night. Minnesota Lynx versus New York Liberty. Who takes home the trophy?
The Liberty better do it, for Christ's sakes. This series should have been over already.
Should have been over. I got the Liberty winning. Breonna Stewart's going to come in, get her head out of her ass, and do what she needs to do as far as Sabrina too. Thank you guys for watching. Ta1k podcast. Zay for Life is out.